Hi, and welcome back to the Save It for Parts channel, Road Trip Edition. In this episode, we are using some older footage. This is from 2018, and this is from an event that we attended called Underground 2018. This used to be an annual mine exploring convention out near Death Valley in California, and this is in the Tecopa mining region. Mining began out here around the 1860s and lasted until about the 1970s. This particular mining area started seeing activity around 1875, and the mine that we're exploring stopped being active in 1957. And this was primarily a silver mine, but they also produced some lead, zinc, and other minerals here. Now I should note that all of these mines that we're doing are privately owned, and we were there with permission as part of this group, and we did have to sign a waiver and agree to some rules. We did have to take some safety precautions. That's why you'll see everybody wearing helmets, and everyone has dust masks, because these mines are very dry, very hot, and very dusty. These mines that we're in are very interconnected on multiple levels with miles and miles of tunnels. So we're doing a lot of walking in from the adits or surface entrances, and then we were doing some climbing up and down between different levels, through big mined-out stope caverns, and up to shafts on the surface. Here we are walking down one of the main haul tunnels, and you can see the railroad tracks on the floor where the ore carts would be brought in and out. This wooden structure on the left is an ore chute, and that leads up into a stoped-out level, which is kind of a big mined-out cavern area. Here's a close-up of what some of the lead-silver ore looks like. There's also some iron in there, so it's got more of a rusty color. Again, everything is super dry down here. There's no water. We're basically in Death Valley, so all of these mines are in great condition. They're nothing like the mines that I was used to back in Alaska, or even some of the mines that I see in the Midwest, which are usually pretty wet, and all the wood's rotten, and everything's pretty decayed in those other mines. Out here in Death Valley, everything is in great condition. The metal looks brand new. There's almost no rust on anything. There's almost no rot on any of the wood. Here we see one of the angled stopes. You can see those supporting timbers are set vertically, and then the large cavern is set at about a 45-degree angle following that ore vein. And here you can see an ore chute in the floor. This is what's called a grizzly, which is sort of a grating where you would dump rocks down into a lower level or into a loading chute, and that grating keeps the large boulders from falling down and possibly damaging the ore chute or the ore carts. Now, I don't recommend people go out and start exploring mines like this on their own. Find an experienced group of people who know about safety. Bring the right safety equipment like oxygen monitors, hard hats, multiple flashlights. Tell someone on the outside where you're going so that they know where to send rescuers if you don't turn up again. Here we've got quite an interesting timbered area, and these are square set timbers where large beams or logs are set together in sort of a lattice work to hold up a big open area. That tube on the top is an old ventilation duct. Now these mines have pretty good air, aside from the dust that I mentioned. There are multiple entrances, high and low on the mountainside, so there is some airflow naturally through the mine system. And some of us did bring along portable gas monitors. And here we've got a stope that's just wide open on the top. There was probably some sort of a wooden structure that those tracks used to be on crossing into the stope cavern, but it either burned or collapsed or was knocked down, leaving the tracks just kind of hanging there into the open space. Here we have more walking. As I mentioned, there was a lot of walking for just hours and hours to get between different parts of this mine system. Here's another ore cart. Most of these were missing the wheels. I think collectors or somebody came in later and took the wheels off these ore carts to sell to antique stores or something. Here's another ore chute leading down underneath the tracks. This one is probably technically a manway because it has a ladder down it, so it would be used for miners to get up and down between levels and not necessarily for dropping ore down. Alright, here's that manway again, and this is something like an angled shaft. You can see the ladders down in there that the workers would have used. It's more of a 45-degree angle, again following that typically 45-degree ore vein. This old rope that we found was already there, and usually it's not a good idea to trust old ropes like this that may have been installed by some teenagers years ago and may or may not be strong enough to actually climb on. Fortunately, this shaft wasn't too difficult to climb even without the rope. We just pulled it up so it wasn't really in the way and getting tangled. Here's an interesting spot where you can see open stopes on the left and up on the right behind these ore chutes. And this level passes directly through the 45-degree ore vein, so the miners were developing things off to both sides, up and down. Here's another view down into one of those stopes, showing some of the wooden supports. This is why you want to wear hard hats when you're exploring a mine. All of these loose rocks were once on the ceiling, now they're on the floor. Here's another group from the mine convention that we ran into. And off in the distance you can see a surface adit, or entrance, that we're heading out towards. Here we are back outside, and we're looking down at the campsite, and this was the base camp for Underground 2018. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I apologize for some of my sketchy camera work and audio. I was using an older camera, and at the time I wasn't exactly planning to make a Save It for Parts video out of this one, but I had enough footage where I thought it might be interesting for people. You can check out some of my other videos where I'm out looking for lost mines in the Midwest, although in most of those videos I don't find anything quite as interesting as we did out in Death Valley. Otherwise, check out my large array of DIY and redneck project videos, and feel free to like and subscribe if you like what you see. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.